Hello, this is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and this is July 2022, and the host of my in-person class that I hold once a month wanted to do a patriotic kind of themed ideas cards and stuff, and so this was one of the cards that I came up with. It's using a current product as well, or a couple of current products, as well as some retired products. So I'm just calling it a retired replay. You can use this idea, this technique, for any type of card that you want to make. It can be birthday, it can be, Thanksgiving, congratulations, anything. Let me share some of the products that I did use. The watercolor shapes. July is watercolor month, and so I was going to share some of these a product that actually looks kind of like creating a watercolor background. And I'm going to actually show you how to make this a little more watercolored when I go to demonstrate it. And then it's also an explosion card, so it kind of pops out and you can put a message on the inside, and I'm going to show that too. I'm also using the current Label Me Lovely punch. That's what I put the sentiments on inside. Then some of the retired products, this silhouette scenes, it's had some really great silhouette images, and I liked this one with pointing up into the sky. Another way, if you have other images that you would like to use, that you want to create a silhouette, you can stamp the outline stamp in black and then just use your basic black Stampin' Right marker and color it in and create a silhouette with any type of stamp. I'm also using an old Stampin' Up! Sentiment stamps, because I felt this message, you've got courage, you've got strength, and you've got me, went really well with that kind of theme. And then I also pulled out an July 2020 paper pumpkin. I had the stamp set for that. These little inserts I got from stampyourartout.com. She keeps a file with all of the paper pumpkin inserts in there, so you could go and find the ones that you have and print those out, and then just get the case from Stampin' Up! And put them in there. But I like this. It's looks like a starburst to me, or a firework or something, so I chose to use that. And so let's get started. The dimensions and not directions, but the measurements are all on my website for Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com. But so don't feel pressured to write everything down. You can go over there for that. This is just more the instruction of how to put it all together. So what I did was I took two basic white pieces and cut it with the Label Me Lovely punch to create those tags. And then this white piece that goes on the front we're going to stamp on is a 5" by 4" basic white. Then I have another layer is 5 1/4 by 4 1/8 in real red cardstock. And then I have the Night of Navy that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I scored it in landscape at 4 1/4. So you use your bone folder, of course, to get a nice crisp edge on that, and this creates the card front. Now this other piece that's going to be going on the inside is not going to fit all the way from side to side. I just am using it for the center part. But this is an 8 by 8" piece of designer series paper. Now Stampin' Up! Didn't have the patriotic papers. So I had some left over from another project I had worked on, but you can also get them online or at some of the craft stores and stuff. But I learned by doing that it's really hard to match some of the colors to these other papers out there. That's one thing I really like about Stampin' Up! Products, is all of the colors between the paper and the cardstock and the ribbons and the inks and everything are all color coordinated. When it says real red, it's real red throughout all the whole products and everything. So it made me really appreciate the Stampin' Up! Products. You could create your own designer series paper by using the stamps that you have and all that stuff. So some of the papers I got were more like an origami paper, in that they are very thin and they actually are slick. This one, it was the same design on both sides. This particular one is a harder, thicker cardstock, and this one particularly had two different sides, but some of them had only one side to it. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be using to share this fold and everything with you. And I wanted to give credit to, I really cannot remember her name, for sharing how to do the explosion part, but her YouTube channel and I think website is Stampin' on the Back Porch. Cannot remember her name, I am sorry. Names are something that's hard for me sometimes, but I do remember the happy couple that run that, and it's so much fun to watch them. So I wanted to share this type of fold and the way that I remember it, because I watched her doing it. So you pick the side that you want to be facing up, and this is the side that I want facing up when it's open. And so, I'm trying to remember, I fold it this way. Now she had a story that she kind of told to help you remember it. I didn't think it was a real story. I think it's something she made up just to help people remember. But it was basically, they were going on a trip, and they stopped to get something to eat, and so they decided to get a hot dog. So this represents the hot dog. And they also looked at the menu and they wanted a couple of tacos. So they took, oh, and this one needs to fold back. They took, oh, I had a hard time seeing that one away from me. So you fold them diagonally so that the opposite corners match up. And it creates, there we go. And you just want to fold that. Might need to fold it a little better. I'm going to get out my bone folder here because I kind of need to straighten up that edge. Oh, come on. This one is a thicker paper than I'm, designer series paper than I'm used to. I try to fix it when I get done. So there's one taco, and then I'm going to fold it into the other taco. So there's another taco. So you have the two tacos and a hot dog. And then you're going to take, there we go. So I popped it in the middle back there so that it comes up. So they, after they ate, they went on down the road, and then they decided to camp. I think it was, go camping. And so they put up a tent. This one's kind of out. It's just going to have to work. All right. So they put up a tent. But then they decided to go back home, and so if you look in here, you can kind of see where these two pieces meet in the middle, and that makes kind of the center of this card. So you take this piece and you go over to where that middle piece is with this line down here matching up, and you do that on all four corners, coming over to your middle, which you can see when you've got it in front of you there. I'm going to go ahead and burnish those and turn it over and do the other two. Oh, keep it over here so I can see. Come over to the middle again. Oh, I think I'm a little over too far. Okay. So they decide to go home, but this home kind of looks funky with these little pieces sticking out. So you're going to take and fold that inward on all four corners. So you basically kind of open this part back up and fold it the other direction. I hope that you can see that with the point in the middle. Turn it over and do it again on these other sides, other corners. I'm doing that again. I'm just pushing this inside and then burnishing that. So now you have something that looks more along the lines of a house. So that is basically what this piece in the center is going to be. So now let me go ahead and I'm going to bring over, and this idea I got from Kelly Atchison. I'm not sure where she's from, but she took grid paper and put around her Stampin' Pierce mats to keep them cleaner, because I had a problem with stamping over onto my mat too. So I fell in love with this idea and I use it. So this is the watercolor month, and I am using this watercolor background. Now I think I'm gonna wait on those. I just want to show this part. Now there's several different ways that you can get this look, and like I said, these are made and built to actually stamp to make it look kind of a watercolory look in the background, but I'm going to show a little bit more. So you just basically apply the ink to your stamp. Now there's two ways you could do it. You can take the spritzer and spritz the ink before you put it down, which is what I'm going to do. I'm using basic white. However, I had started this before thinking about watercoloring being a thing to share. So I would have preferred to use either the watercolor paper or shimmery white paper to do either of these techniques on. But the basic white, it tends to hold with using the spritzer on here better than trying to color it afterwards. But you can, if you're using one of the other ones, you could stamp that and then use the water painter and paint inside of it to kind of blend that color. But what I am going to do is the one where you take and spritz the water. The spritzers, they come in a 2-pack. You could fill with water, alcohol, whatever you want. Alcohol is more, it dries more quickly, but it tends to blend less on this type of paper. So this is water, and I'm just going to spritz some water on there. It kind of turns a little liquidy, and that's kind of what I was wanting to do, and get the colors to kind of running. And then what you want to do is when you apply the stamp, you want to allow it to soak in. So here is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this over here on this side. But you basically just push and hold, and the paper starts soaking up that water and ink, The inks are dye based, so they do run together, and then you kind of get this watercoloring image. It's a little bit different than just stamping it straight on. So I wanted to show that with you or to you, and then set that off. Now if you're going to be using the water, you need to either set it aside to dry, or you could use your heat tool and try to dry it. I would dry on both top and bottom, alternating, to keep the paper from warping in just one direction. So I'm going to just set this off to the side because I do want to show you actually what all happened, so, or how it came out. So on, again, the silhouette, the ones that are watercolored, it tends to be a little less flat. So when you go to stamp your silhouette, you may want to use the Stamparatus so that you can apply it, put some more ink on it, and apply it again to get it down. Or if you want, take your Stampin' Right basic black marker and just color in the areas that are a little less solid. So that's kind of what I did here. And then I took the kind of firework looking stamp and did those as fireworks. Also on the pieces for the inside, I took my sentiments and stamped them there, and then I had this little stamp from another old set called Americana, and I just used those. But there's a lot of stamp sets that have, you know, stars and things. And like I said, you could use this for any kind of stamp, for any kind of occasion or whatever you want to celebrate. So now we're going to put this together so I can show you how that goes. I'll get that out of the way. So the front, I'm just going to stick these two pieces together. And when you're applying adhesive, go ahead and apply it to the smaller piece, the one that's going to layer onto the top, and do that, because if you try to add the glue to the let's just mess that. When you try to add the glue to the larger one and trying to keep that small border, it's a lot harder to keep it where it needs to be, and you're going to end up with glue where you don't want it. So start with your smaller piece, putting the adhesive on there, and then this one I created that so that the measurements line up and create a border. And then this one's going to layer onto the top of the front of the card. And of course, when I was first starting to design this card, I actually had turned the paper this way, and then I realized that my explosion card was going to go a different direction, so I had to turn my idea so that it went horizontal. And again, this one is a small border going here, and then on the inside is where you're going to want to put, oh, and of course I folded this wrong. Well, that's a good thing. You can always refold these things, because I think I've got it backwards. Let me try this again. Let's see. And then this one goes this way. And then oh, it comes back. Hold on. When it opens, I want it to open alright. I'm going to use this other one to help me remember. So I want this to be in, I want these to be up. There, so this one, there it goes, finally. Alright, so I did fold that kind of backwards. Once you have done this a few times, it's a lot easier. No, I did it wrong again. This is the way I did it the first time. So this needs to go in. Fold it backwards. I knew I was going to have a problem as soon as I got to do this on camera. Alright, so I should have folded it where the piece that I want facing out is on the inside. And then I go around and turn these back inside, and inside, inside. And one more. There. So the back side that you don't want people to see should be on the outside. But you want to keep track of which way you want it to be. So this is the top and this is the bottom. Now you're going to apply adhesive to one side. It doesn't really matter which one you want to do, but it will matter of how you're going to place it inside here. So let me just run some adhesive. You can use the white Tombow or whatever you want. I just happen to like the Stampin' Sew Plus. Now this one, the bottom is this area down here, and I want the other one on the top. So I put the adhesive on the bottom. You're gonna try to line it up so that it's equidistant on the sides, and then you want the point to go up to pointing toward the fold. You don't want it to be on the fold, you want it to be touching the fold, and then there's going to be a little border at the bottom. And then once you have that in there, you will add adhesive to this part. And then just close your card, and that will stick that down there. So when you open it, it will open the way you want it to open. And then I have these sentiments that I've done. I apologize for this taking so long. Did it again, grabbed the wrong one. So my first sentiment is going to go up here. I want it to be kind of centered, and then do the same thing with the bottom. Right there. You could add other stars or sequins or whatever you want in there too if you want to. And then I am going to, the iridescent rhinestones for the that are in the catalog is what I used because I wanted something that kind of changed colors and sparkled, and I just put the larger ones in the center of these bursts, and then I had some little ones and some smaller ones that I could put kind of around. The key is to try to keep an odd number on your cards, because that's how things are more visually appearing anyway, as I've learned with other things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'll just add one more right there. And so you can have this. Now if you want to, you could put a sentiment across or on the front, but I just felt that it looked good this way. So this is how you put that together, and I hope that you will go over and check out the other products or projects that we made in my on my blog at dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com. There's links to other videos that I did, and some other products that are cards that I made to share. using some other products that I have. So I hope that you enjoy this, that you will like and share my videos, that you will also subscribe to my channel, and then click the bell icon over there. You'll be notified when I upload a new video. And I hope that you enjoy sharing paper crafting with me as much as I enjoy having you view my videos. Thank you.